Hi. So DagKnows is an AI-powered workflow automation platform, and it makes it extremely easy for users to build workflows in a matter of minutes by interacting with an AI agent that we've built. So I'm going to go over a simple use case that we encountered internally ourselves, which involves about 8 steps here that I've listed, and it involves interacting with things like Kubernetes, Jira, Jenkins, GitHub, and Slack. Essentially, we want to track our deployment process of our application to a given environment. So it involves things like getting all the Git commits and creating a Jira ticket, then starting a Jenkins workflow and so on, right? So I'm going to show you how easy it is to do these kind of workflows using DagKnows AI agent. So let's head over to DagKnows, click this button, and you can click this button called agent to start an AI agent. You get a screen like this where there is a dialog box, and in this dialog box you can type your prompt or ask AI agent to do various things for you. So I'm going to start by asking it to get all the Git commits for a specific repo called task service that I want to build and deploy to our dev environment. So I'm going to get all the commits for last 7 days and commit IDs, etc. And as soon as I hit enter, the agent says it's generating a task for us. And what it's doing is it creates a reusable Python script for us. Okay, and you can see the script here. It extracts all the useful input and output parameters. Here it extracted repo name and the number of days to collect the logs as the input parameters and assigned the values to it based on our prompt, and executed this Python script and gave us the output. Now there is a mode where you don't have to go ahead and execute it. You can inspect the code before you want to execute it, but right now I've turned it off. Right now it's in a mode where it's going to go ahead and automatically execute the script. So it did execute the script and gave us this output that I can look at. You can scroll and up and down this output and make sure it's all fine. Great, so now we have done the first step in our workflow. So let's go to the second step. In the second step, what I want to do is create a Jira ticket in this project DD and dump all that Git log in that Jira ticket as a comment. Because we're tracking every step in the Jira ticket. That becomes sort of our log for everything, the entire deployment process. So just give it a few seconds and it's generating that task again. And the interesting thing here is it keeps the context of this entire conversation where output of the previous task feed into the inputs of the next task. So here we want to dump all those commits in the Jira ticket. So those commits should become the input to this task. Awesome, so now we have our second task ready and it is executing. Notice that it has extracted again all the useful parameters like project key and so on for the Jira, and it used the commits from the previous task to put that in the description section of a ticket. Now we can just open this ticket and make sure that it's looking good. So there we have all our commit logs in the ticket body. That's great. Let's go back to DagKnows and continue to the third step. In this step, what we want to do is start the Jenkins workflow that builds the image for a specific repo, and it also goes ahead and deploys it. So let's start that. Again, it's going to generate the task, give it a few seconds, and it should be ready. Perfect. So it has job name as the input and it assigns the value task service. It went ahead and executed the task and looks like the Jenkins build has started. All right, let's go to the next step now, which is to ensure that the build is going smoothly and we can get the console log of the Jenkins build and put that in the Jira ticket as an evidence. Because again, we're tracking everything in Jira ticket. All right. So only last 50 lines of that console log should be good enough. Let's get that. Perfect. So we have the build URL for Jenkins. Using that, it's going to extract the logs. Looks like the build finished successfully. Now we want to add this log to the Jira ticket. Nice. So the task is ready, and now it's being executed. Great. So it added our comment to the Jira ticket, and we can verify that it did. Let's click here. Let's refresh our ticket. And there it is. The Jenkins console log has been added to the Jira ticket. Let's go back to DagKnows and continue to the next step. Here we want to check the pod status and ensure that all the pods are running smoothly after deployment. So when you ask AI agent to do this, it's basically going to interact with our Kubernetes cluster and get the output. There it is. So notice that task service seems to have been started like 3 minutes ago, which is about right. So the deployment is just fine. Everything's running fine. Let's add that as the log to our Jira ticket. Okay, the task is ready and executing. Awesome. So the kubectl log has been added to the ticket as well. Let's do the last thing, which is notify everybody on Slack saying this deployment has been done successfully. We'll drop a message to a demo channel with the ticket URL. Okay, task is ready, executed, and looks like it posted some output. We can quickly verify. Let's go to our demo channel in Slack, and there it is. Dev deployment successful with the Jira ticket. Awesome. So this was that entire workflow of 8 steps. We're done with scroll up, and notice that there's a lot of stuff here. Like there's a lot of code and inputs and outputs, and there is just too much. And this can be overwhelming. And you can choose to display certain sections or hide certain sections. For example, click this button and you can hide the code or display the code. This will toggle between showing descriptions. This will hide or show inputs and outputs to the task. So now at this point, if you notice, all you got is just your prompt and whatever AI did. So this looks a lot more like an interactive workflow where I'm asking AI to do stuff and it's doing it and giving me the output, right? So very simple and clean interface. You can hide all the outputs as well and just look at the list of things that we've done. That serves as your documentation essentially, right? So it's nice 8 bullet points that kind of narrate the workflow for you, right? Great. So let me show this IO again. And now let's inspect the inputs and outputs of each task and make sure that they've been stitched together correctly. Now, what next? Next time around, let's say if you want to do this, you don't want to go step by step again. You don't want to interact with AI saying do this and do that for me. Next time around, you simply want to hit one button and say, well, here is my repo. I want to build image and deploy it to given environment. And it should do it all at once. So all these steps have to be executed at once. How do you do that? To do that, we have this button called tidy up. You hit this button, and at this point, it's going to nicely title this workflow, also come up with some description for this workflow, and extract all these parameters for all these subtasks underneath. What it means is, next time, I can execute this entire workflow by simply hitting this play button and typing my values here. Like, I can give some repo name XYZ, number of days to collect the logs, git logs for 5, Jira project key being something else, DAG, and just execute this entire task by clicking this execute task button, and all these steps will be executed all at once. So you don't have to interact with AI. So that's the power of our platform, where you interact with AI to build your workflow, and once it is built, you can reuse it again and again because it's completely parameterized for you. Well, that's all I have to show here. I hope you like this demo and hope you like our platform. Please let me know what you think.